Hey all. Hey all, how are you doing today? So I'm trying out this new Facebook Live feature that Facebook has decided we all need to get on board with. They've changed the interface, as I'm sure some of you have recognized, and that's okay. I guess it's just part of just evolving with technology. There was a time when maybe I would log on or get into different software and then I'd look at the setup and then feel overwhelmed and then leave it alone. But then now I find that I go in and I see that, any kind of software have made changes, then I look and see if I how I can still proceed with with what it is that I intended to do. And I think the reason why I'm starting off this way is just to sort of remind you that your ability to still use your situations, whatever that situation may be, your ability to do that is really going to come about as a result of other things that you've done before, that you decided before. For example, deciding that software is not going to get in the way of you, living out your dream or starting your business, that, money is not going to get in the way of you living your life, relationships, whatever it is that you decided, these are the things that kick in to help you. So somewhere along the way, I decided that software and technology was not going to intimidate me. And what I found to be true over the last 10 or so years is that I have very easily managed to use new software, new technology. And because I love it, I do it on a regular basis, just going in and seeing what's new, what's improved, what's changed for myself and for my clients. And it comes, easily and without stress. And this is what I would like us to really focus on today. Are those parts of your life where you feel that things come easy and with ease and without struggle? Because we have those parts in our life. And I want us to just talk about them and see how it really goes down to mindset. So I have an example here. I had a client, and he was in the entertainment industry. And so before he started working with me, he was working in a corporate job. And when we were done, he transitioned over into the entertainment industry, which is really where his heart was. Now, the one thing that I remember that we were discussing was that important factor of how are you going to make your money. And the thing that really uh, struck out to me and that stuck out to me, and the thing that struck me about this client of mine was that he had this attitude that was already embedded from time before, in which he said, money is not a problem for me, I make money quickly and easily. And being around him for as many years as I have, knowing him personally, I've been able to see how that has played out in his life. This is someone who maybe one day will be laid off, like will be laid off today. And then tomorrow we'll get a random call out of nowhere asking him to come in for a new job that was created for him with exactly the money that he needs, or getting an opportunity somewhere, an email, something like that. And those things would just really happen easily for him. I remember once I remarked, I was like, how does this happen for you? Like if you're coming to the end of something, you never worry because you always know that something else is going to come through. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I never have to worry about work coming in or money coming in. It always comes in for me. So I'm sure that you know some of these people in your life where you look at them and there are aspects of their life that just come so easily and quickly and without struggle. And a part of you is like, what the heck? I also want you to recognize that you have those parts in your life. Not everything in your life is a struggle. Not everything in your life has to be gotten through hard work or through transformation or you changing yourself or applying yourself. Let's be honest, there's some things in your life that come easily and quickly without struggle. And I want us to take a moment to pay attention to those things. Now, I am not going through the gratitude lane where I say, be grateful for these things and it's going to make the other things seem less. Not at all, because I know a part of you is not buying it. But I want us to look at the areas that are working. The areas in which you somehow just know that you have no problem. You literally know in your DNA, in your spirit, in your heart that you have no problem. This is an area you never need to look at or work on. And on a blank piece of paper with your pen, I want you to write down some of those areas in your life in which things come easily, quickly, and without struggle. Write them down. Okay? Give you a few moments for that while I sip on my coffee. It's that kind of a day. Next, look at the things that you've written down and then start writing the attributes that allow for such an easy, with ease, that allows for that ease, that allows for the lack of struggle in that area. What is it that's been set up? What is it that you do? What is it? How do you think? How do you feel? How do you approach? How do you react? All the things that allow for you to be okay in that space. I'll go back to the example that I gave of the client that I had who moved over to the entertainment industry. And for him, some of the things that I was able to see was that he generally had a disposition that allowed him to formulate a vision of what he wanted and what he wanted to do. But when you looked at the actual plan and you looked at the specifics of the plan, he didn't have that. What he did is he would have his very concrete destination, and then the rest of it, he would allow for flow, meaning that he would just go about his business. And it's almost like intuitively trusting that the right opportunities and the right people would come up. So, maybe he would do a little searching, maybe he would do a little reaching out, but he wouldn't have to do anything that would cause him stress. He wouldn't have to do anything outside of himself for it. And I find that fascinating, because when you look at the areas in which people are succeeding and you look at the areas in your life in which you are truly succeeding, I think there's one thing that you can agree with me. It is an area in which it seems like it doesn't require your brain. It doesn't require your mind. It doesn't require you to be in there doing anything. And in fact, if you are in there doing anything, you probably would sabotage your results. So what does this mean? What does this mean? Well, if we take this over to the side where we have problems, so you have this one big problem, it's inflamed, it's glaring at you, it's the only thing that you can see, it's really hard to be grateful for all the wonderful things in your life because of this one problem that's just in there, just like a weed, it's just deeply rooted, stuck. If you're in that space, well, then what are you going to do? Instinctively, you're going to apply yourself. You're going to turn every part of you onto that problem and say, let's fix this. How do I fix this, right? You're going to use your mind. You're going to use your body. You're going to use your energy. That's all you're going to see is this problem. And initially, it's let's get rid of it, or let's absorb it. So it's sort of that idea of I either chase you away or I eat you, like going back to the days of, animals. It's chase you away or eat you. So what can I do here? Can I consume you or can I eradicate you? And so your mind is, and your body and your energies, everything is just highly fixed on this problem. Now, this is what happens, though, because we are humans, and in human nature, you're so fixated on this problem that you develop a tunnel vision, and the only thing that you see is the problem. Now, unfortunately, you have feelings and emotions attached to the problem. And so when you're looking at the problem, you are not only looking at it objectively, but your emotions and your feelings and your life experiences, your expectations, your fears, your desires, they all show up to the same table, and they each have something to say. And the reason why you remain stuck in this one problem area is because you have all these conflicting sensory overload that's making it hard for you to objectively examine what the issue is and then proactively create a plan for it. So what do we do if this is the case? Well, the first thing to do is to really acknowledge and accept. So that is always my first step with anything. It's before you get to the vision, which is I'll say that's a pivotal part of any kind of lasting change, is that you have to see an image that is far better and greater than your current situation, and you have to want that image to come true in your present life. And that's what a vision is, right? It's seeing a picture that's not your current reality, wanting that picture, and then going for it. And that's how you really form that vision in your mind. And when people say, what's driving you? Why are you doing what you're doing? You're like, I just have this vision. That's when people speak like that. I have this picture. I just want this reality. I have this, I have this thing that I'm trying to make come to life. So, the first thing is acknowledge and accept. And the acknowledge and accept is acknowledge and accept the problem. Now, don't just give it an arbitrary name. Like, don't just say my problem is money. My problem is love. my problem is health, because that means absolutely nothing. We have to get really concretely into what the problem is. So let's say that you say my problem is money. Well, what about money is your problem? Because you'll realize that within that discussion, there's so many different facets. For example, there's some people who have no problem getting money. They have absolutely no problem getting money in. However, they don't have anything in place that allows them to keep it. So the money comes in and then it leaves. There are others who have a problem getting money, but they have money. And so the money that comes in is hoarded and it's just kept in this little box and it doesn't get to go out and grow or spread itself or anything like that. So when it comes to money, what specifically is the problem? Now, when you say that I don't have any clients or I'm not getting any new clients, you can still go further deeper into that. What does that mean? Okay, so you have clients. Are they great paying clients? Do they pay you? Do they do what you want? Is that the problem? Or is it that you absolutely have no one to speak with, no one who's signing up for your services, no one who's buying from you? What is the problem? So, the deeper you go in, the more you realize that you can actually bring out what seems to be a large conceptual problem into something very specific. So let's say the problem is money and that you're not getting any clients, which is honestly the reason why people will come to me, is because of the client part. Now, for some of them, they have money. They have no problem with that. Others, they don't have money and they need it. But what is really generally understood is the client part. So let's say I have no clients. Now, when I ask questions as to how they've been getting their clients, it then makes sense that they have no clients. Because what we do then is we look at, well, what activities have we been doing in regard to this? Now, when we are doing our activities, the one thing that's pretty common is that we fail to look at a whole picture of why we're doing what we're doing. And we tend to do things step by step. So for example, maybe today I'll do a Facebook Live as an example. And then, I'll do the Facebook Live and then I'm very excited about it. I'm so pumped. I can do so many other things, the power of momentum. But then tomorrow or maybe later on, I'm going to look and be like, oh, nobody watched it. Nobody cares. Nobody will buy from me. I'm very useless. That's why I should never have done this. I should go back and do that. And then you just take yourself down this rabbit hole and you end up not doing anything else for a while. But if you have a vision and you understand that even if you have what is perceived as a problem, that it's only one small area in your life, and that there are actually ways that you can get to the root of the problem and figure out what is missing and what you can do to fix it, then you find that you have a more laid back view of your journey and how you're traveling and what you're doing. You may be able to say that's one Facebook Live, but truly they need to see me and hear from me in many different ways so that I can stay top of mind. And you're not taking it personally because you are the exact same. Whenever you go consume media, you may see something impacting, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to remember who authored it or, who posted it. All you took away was the actual content. So thinking about how people consume information, thinking about how humans work in general, I'd say take a really laid back approach to your marketing in the sense that think of it in terms of the long game. Think about it in terms of the long game, especially within the North American culture, in Canada specifically. People have to consume a lot of information before they make up their mind. Now, it speaks to the sort of society that we have and how it's been built and how we think as a people. It's the same way you go over to a different country and they don't need that much time to consume the information before they make up their mind to buy. So when you understand your market and you understand the people that you're dealing with, when you understand human behavior, and when you understand your role in this, then you are not panicking, you're not reactive, you're not feeling out of control. In fact, you're able to just sit back and be able to say, it's interesting, but things are coming to me quickly and with ease. I understand that that's not where you may be. And, obviously you have some very strong thoughts that are blocking this, but you hear me and you want to know what to do about this. So for the next several days, I'm offering my time up for free to speak with you on the phone. And this is what I'm doing. I'm actually not even going to just listen to you and say, yeah, oh, that is so sad. I'm going to identify the blocks. I'm going to identify exactly what it is that's blocking you. And I'm going to eradicate it. Yeah, with your help. So we're going to eradicate it. Now, before we do that, we're also going to discover what your vision is, that big picture, that ideal picture, the one that you want to move toward. And the reason why we do that is so that once we remove the block, it then becomes easier for you to see the path that you need to follow to move on. Now, why am I doing this for free? Honestly, at this time, in this era and whatnot, the one thing that I truly want for entrepreneurs and small business people and anybody who's thinking about starting a business is to use this time to start planting those seeds and grounding yourself and figuring out what you need so that you can come out in a better way at the end of this. This is such an amazing opportunity, guys, to redesign your life, to redesign your work, to redesign the things that you thought were important or not important, and really just look at yourself and say, okay, I'm taking this opportunity to create something that's lasting for myself and something that is sustainable. At the end of this, what do I want for myself? Now, there may be some things that are blocking you. For majority of the people that I speak with, it's the money factor, right? Where's money going to come from? How am I going to make my money? How am I going to pay my bills? And that's the thing that stops most people from proceeding on with their dreams. So what I'm going to be doing with our phone call is identifying the exact specific thing, the exact specific thought, the opinion, the belief, the wound, the experience that has shaped you up until today that is not allowing you to move forward. And my goal here is to make sure that that is eradicated so that you can see your way forward and you can move on with your vision. Now, usually what this ends up being is that people end up working with me because they still need the support and the maintenance down the line. However, if that doesn't happen, I don't care. You're free. So get in touch with me and let's get you on the phone and let's get you where you need to be.